New force is about to hit this city. From the dark side of the moon, this is the Cosmos Radio Network. Welcome to the Biz Breaks Podcast on the Cosmos Radio Network USA. I am your host, Kevin the Credit Crusher, along with my co-host, Nike Neal, a financial expert. And today we have a special guest on the show. We got Chinere Wright, Reiki hairstylist. Chinere Wright, she's a stylist to the stars. Award-winning stylist, been in the game for a long time, and I'm gonna quantify long time. She's been in this hair game for over 20 years, and so we're gonna talk to her about that, and we're gonna talk to her about a special service that she provides. But before we get into that, let's talk Biz Breaks Podcast here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Cosmos Radio Network USA. You know, you can catch us on the streaming platforms, the Cosmos Radio Network platforms. You can catch us on our Facebook page, Kevin Lewis Facebook page, the Promethean Facebook page. You can also catch us on YouTube, and that's where we're going to probably move starting next week to our YouTube page. The name is Promethean, Premisien. So welcome, Chinere Wright, hairstylist extraordinaire. So, Chinere, the Biz Breaks Podcast, we have real talk with real entrepreneurs. We like to know their stories. We like to know how they overcame some of the struggles. So we're going to let you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and how you are.
My name is Chinere Wright. Everybody calls me CC on Instagram. My handle is CC Chic Beauty. And I have not 20 years, but 18 years as a licensed hairstylist here in Philadelphia. I started my career working in hair extensions, wigs, and hair loss. So for about 11 years, I worked with the American Cancer Society as their volunteer instructor for the Look Good, Feel Better program, where that's pretty much the only time that they come to the hospital where it's not treatment related. So they come and learn about wigs, scarving, makeup, and things like that, so that they can use through their treatment when they're undergoing treatment. That led me into a lot of wig making and hair pieces, and just doing a lot of trauma response as far as scalp care and things like that. So working in that community led me to my first salon, and my first salon was a hair extensions and wig salon. And so that was my first venture in business on my own. After about a few years, I actually closed my salon, and then I partnered with a salon on the main line in Wayne with a veteran that I actually met years before in my training for the American Cancer Society. So the way that comes full circle, I actually shut down my salon and I went and worked with her, where she had a hair replacement studio set up with laser therapy treatments, and she was connected with a well-known dermatologist in the area, so had a lot of referrals for people who had alopecia and things like that. So I got to work and learn a lot about hair loss, restoration, and just caring for the scalp in general and making the scalp environment for the hair to grow healthy, which led into nutrition and eating, so that the hair, scalp, and how it really affects your diet, affects your skin and your hair. And so from that, it was a great experience, but it was different because I was the only person that looked like me in that environment.
When you say look like you, what you mean? Tall? What you mean? Two eyes, nose?
Tall, because they were all very, very Jewish, very Jewish, shorter shorter, older Jewish women. So I was probably the tallest one in there all the time.
Wow.
I was youngest all the time. And I was the blackest all of the time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I learned a lot, and she was very progressive. The salon owner was very progressive to the point where she really wanted me to take over her business, because at that time she was in her 60s and had been doing it for a really long time and was grooming me to take over her business, but her clients was not having it. They was not having it. So, I got tired of defending myself and explaining myself and proving my worth, that I knew, not only because of the age difference. They felt as though I was too young to understand their plight and to understand what was going on with them, but they felt as though they devalued me on a regular basis. They felt as though I should not be getting paid what I was getting paid, or they should not be paying me the same prices that they were paying her. So that was the reason for removing myself from that toxic situation. Even though it to this day, the education that I learned, I still use, and it benefits me in my career right now. So that toxicity led to this venture right now, which is the Cosmic Flow Reiki Hair Studio, where it is just a safe space for men and women of color.
So you undersold. I happen to know you personally, and so you're underselling, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. On the Biz Breaks Podcast, we're not talking about advertising. We don't do the show to advertise. We do the show to really learn who the person is, how the entrepreneur came to be. And so I want to go back real quick, and you breeze past this contention that you had working in a white salon, because we're going to say it plainly, right? We're not afraid. We're unapologetic here, right? So you're working in this white salon as a Black person, a Black woman, no doubt, and your clientele, or her clientele, right, as it were, had an issue with that. So talk to us a little bit more in depth about the issues that you had and how you came through those things.
So some of the things that would happen, there would be a lot of condescension in the conversation, asking questions as far as, the validity of my credentials on a regular basis. Even to the point of asking where I lived, as far as trying to figure out if I lived on the main line and things like that, because people judge by your zip code, birth and things like that. Knowing that, in conversation that I had a young son, looking and saying that I wasn't married, asking what social club I belonged to, or what parish that I went to, and things like that. And I'm like, that I don't go to I'm not a part of this community, so just things like that. I've actually had some of her clients say, I don't want her to do my service. I want you to do my service. And if she's doing my service, why am I paying her the same amount of money? As if the service is not being done correctly or efficiently. But why am I paying her the same amount that I would pay you to do, the same exact service?
And for those, I'm sorry for cutting. I apologize for cutting you off. For those of you who are in our audience and are not familiar with Philadelphia and the Philadelphia area, the Main Line is a very affluent neighborhood, predominantly white, right? The inhabitants there are predominantly white, no doubt, right?
Right.
And so you saying you had issue with with pure discrimination is what I hear you saying. Am I right?
Right.
Did the owner defend you at all, or did she have
She was,
conversations with her?
yes, I was actually just about to say that she was and always will be a complete and total advocate, because even with that client, she in front of her, she didn't like pull her aside or anything like that, and just basically told her she is actually more qualified to do this service than I am, because I've stopped continuing education a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
She has continued, and she's, up to date with all of the current, because it was for a hairpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And, she told us, she said she has continued her education to where she is actually showing me new ways of doing things, because I stopped going to classes years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so she is actually more qualified to do this technique than I am at this point in time. And if you are not going to allow her to do the service, I no longer, because of health reasons, can do the service for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so she let her know either she can do it or you
Are you
don't.
going to go somewhere else?
Yeah. And there was no anywhere else. So not in the area,
So talk about what the environment that you're in now. You said, it's receptive to men and women, of color. And it's like from what you were saying, like a positive, like, environment and vibe. So tell us a little bit about that vibe and how you created that space from coming from that, the negative vibe.
This space is very much, Kevin said that I work with, with the stars, the celebrities, and the stars and things like that. Not so much the celebrities, but definitely with the stars. It's very spiritual based. I do a lot of things with the full moon and new moon, lunar based, healing sessions, gatherings. Everything is all natural as far as product. Um, Literally, when you come in, your area where you sit, it is sanitized and saged. There's sage going throughout, it's about energy,
Mm-hmm.
clearing, and maintaining positive energy throughout the entire space, throughout your experience. So there is, the playlist is curated for the morning time, for the afternoon, for the evening, to kind of get you through. A lot of it is positive affirmations that are playing throughout on the sound system. The aromatherapy at each station and each room. The shampoo experience is in its own private room to give you that type of meditative feel for your shampoo. There is a one-on-one service. Like, there's no double, triple, hectic environment booking that a lot of black
Yes.
lines that we are tend to be very familiar with, where you're
Yeah,
sitting.
well, you sit at the wash bowl for half an hour. If your
Right.
hair was washed.
No 8-hour days. I don't want to see you for 8 hours, and I don't want you to see me for 8 hours. Like,
Oh.
you're not spending your day with me. You're gonna want to, though,
Mm-hmm.
because the vibe is that calming.
Right.
Definitely gonna want to, but you can't, because COVID.
Yeah.
We're not doing as far as people sitting on top of each other and
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So it is an experience. I am a level 2 Reiki practitioner. So I also,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say it one more time, a little bit louder.
I'm a comedic Reiki practitioner.
So
So
I heard you the first time.
got
I
to
just
explain
wanted
that
to
now.
repeat.
So Reiki is a healing modality that uses my energy to shift your energy. So I actually go through your 7 chakras along your body, and I can kind of figure out what chakras are open or closed and what needs to be addressed, and then help to balance your chakras. So is chakra energy is essential, using essential oils, meditation, sound therapy is all together in that. So you leave with a little bit more of an understanding of when your chakras are not aligned, you tend to feel it mentally and emotionally, and physically, because each chakra is attached to different systems, functions in your body. So in that way, if you, a lot of times, if you are feeling, for example, like aches and pains and things like that in your lower back, a lot of times that's associated with your sacral chakra. So then it's like, okay, that lets me know that a lot of the tension and a lot of the buildup and things like that, you're carrying it in your lower back. If you're having a lot of problems and things like that with the upper part of your back, a lot of weight on your shoulders and the top parts here, that has to do a lot of times with the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Those are connected. So each chakra is connected and aligned with different systems in your body. So in that way, that's telling you, okay, you need to incorporate certain foods in your body so that when you leave, you know, okay, I different foods, vegetables, and things like that you need to incorporate from whatever is not aligned. And then it helps you with, okay, mentally journaling and things like that. What emotionally am I having to, what emotionally, can you see me? Okay.
Okay.
Do I need to work on? So if you're journaling, if you are meditating, if you're doing yoga, all of those things, they all connect. So when it's pretty much kind of giving you a blueprint of what do I need to focus on to strengthen all of these different areas. So I offer the Reiki treatments solely if you just want to get a Reiki treatment done, but then I also offer Reiki hair treatments to where it's incorporated in your hair service, done at the shampoo bowl.
Okay. It's like the
I
real
have
stuff.
another Reiki practitioner that is going to be doing services, and then there are yoga practitioners that will be doing classes and things like that throughout the week that they will be offering on their own. Workshops, a lot of them have workshops. They sell different like holistic products. So the front of the salon is pretty much like a wellness center where you can get yoni steams and herbs and candles and lotions, and everybody who has product are handmade holistic providers here in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's dope, man. Listen, I'm right now. I'm like, I know the time. I'm like, we
I
got to
can't
get.
hear y'all.
Uh-oh.
Is it because you can't hear us? Because we can hear. I can hear Nakia. Nakia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
we can
hear y'all.
Uh-oh.
We can hear you, and we can hear each other.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Maybe she log in and log back.
Yeah, you might have to log out and log back in.
This is the new age, right? It's everything. You gotta, when somebody freeze a little bit, you start moving around to try to figure out if it's you, if it's them, log it in, log it back out.
Yep. So listen, technical difficulties happen to us all. While we're waiting, nice. Why don't you tell people where they can find you and what you can provide for them?
Oh, what I can provide. So I can provide you with a clear financial plan. I'm sorry, guys. I have my daughter here with me today.
Let's see her. Bring her on here. Let me see Cam.
Okay, here we go. Say hi.
That's my niece, y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Oh, that's okay. All right, she doesn't want to be a part of the show. It's okay. So she's going to sit here and be quiet, so that's good. So I provide financial services for small business owners and for individuals. So if you find yourself stuck and you need a clear financial plan with the steps on how to get to your goals and dreams, because oftentimes that's what keeps us up at night, is that anxiety of not having a budget, not using a budget correctly, like the effect of like, I don't even want to use a budget, but a budget will set you free. It's the anxiety of, am I saving enough for retirement? It's the anxiety of, I have too much debt going on, and student loan debt is really crippling a lot of people, not having enough income coming in or not knowing what to do with your money. I really help you sit down and act as a guide to put a clear financial plan so that you can sleep well at night. And the way that you can reach me, because Kev's going to ask that, is by phone is 267 257-3274, or you can get me on social media at Nikia Neal on Facebook and Instagram, or you can email me at nikianeal@gmail.com, and you can see how to spell my name. It's right there. There you go.
Good deal. Good deal. Chinere, Wright, can you hear us now? You good?
I can hear you.
We're back up and running. So you have a very unique service. It's a spiritually infused hair service if you're doing the hair service. And that is something I certainly have never encountered before. Nice. And but I don't go to salons. I go to barbershops, which are men's salons, really. And by the way, it was Chinere, just on a tangent, she had me go to this. I got a new barbershop. I'll have my barber come on one of the shows, but she put me in touch with taking care of myself as a man, particularly as a Black man. So I grew up very hyper masculine, and a lot of things that are happening now could not happen in my life earlier. But Chinere put me on to taking care of yourself externally and internally, and she showed me how the connection between your external and your internal feelings. And I got a new barbershop, and they do a facial every time I go get a haircut. I'm hooked on this thing.
Listen, as she was talking, I was like, right after the show, I'm connecting with sis because I got to be there. Before, self-care was really trending because we really need that with so busy in life here and there. I got to do this and got to be super productive, and you feel guilty when you just get to relax. It's like, I didn't do something. You sound like you were doing this already. Like, this is not a trend. This is definitely a lifestyle for you, and that you're teaching other people how to like relax, which is important, how to like get in tune and alignment with yourself, which is important. And social media and all the things that we're doing and especially as entrepreneurs, since this is a show about business owners, right? And entrepreneurs, we're always like, go, go, go. How do I get more clients? How do I build? How do I this? How do I that? When sometimes you need to just like get centered. So I'm all for that, man. I can hear you talk all day about this.
This is like 4 years in the making. This was not me in my 20s and my early 30s. I was the cheerleader for hustle gang, go, go. Like, that's what I did. Like, it was to the point where like my clients would be like, all right, what you doing now? You know what I mean? Because I was always doing, I was in a salon. I was at one point, like all at the same time, I was doing fashion weeks, doing hair and stuff like that for fashion weeks, and to where that's go busy, because that's runway editorial type stuff. I was doing photo shoots, like literally like going to photo shoots and doing hair and makeup for shoots for photographers and stuff like that. I was in the salon at the same time, and I had a young child, and I was doing makeup, so that I was going to different places doing makeup. I had a brow. I was doing like really known for doing brows at one time in the city. So I was doing brows, and then I transitioned to that. Decided to go to school for permanent makeup, and was doing like tattoo, microblading, and things like that. Like, I was all over the place. I was like, anything that had to do with beauty, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm on it. Let me get this money over here. Let me get it over here. And it got to the point where I crashed, completely burned out, was exhausted, never made any type of events, family events. Stuff was on Saturdays and Sundays. I wasn't there, didn't see it. Like, if there was any type of concerts or anything like that, my friends would be like, you get your ticket. You get there when you get there. We're not waiting on you, because I'm on person the line, and 2 hours later, you still gotta go home and get dressed. We're not waiting on you. We see you when you get here. We're not waiting on you. You can't ride with us. It was all of that, and so it got to the point. I was like, I was making good money. I was making great money, but I was exhausted.
You didn't have any time.
I ain't had no time. I was exhausted. I was not eating well, because you eating on the go fast. At that point, like, I was not vegetarian. I wasn't pescatarian. I was whatever I can get my hands on, whoever was delivering, or not eating at all, or candy. Like that was my go-to. Sugar, candy, anything I can pop in and have on my station. I was eating candy to keep going. And you cannot survive on that. And at this day, right now, I rebuke and I do not subscribe to the hustle culture. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't subscribe to it.
I think that's not really building. Like, I think that when we start and when we think about building a business, we are in hustle mode. Like, I spent the beginning of my career and I'm just now learning to get out of hustle mode and to actually build your business. And you can't say yes to everything. You know, it's not all about, hey, you know, we had a phrase, you want to get all the money off the table. But when you have all of these different pieces, you seem to not be, you know, focused on really building anything.
Right.
You know, and then you get burned out, and then it's like you don't want to do it. So now you went from doing like 100 things to like barely wanting to do one thing.
Right.
So keep it going. So
I feel like you can't build a brand in that way because nobody knows what you do for real.
Where do you do that? Yeah.
What are you known for? Like, what is it that you do really well? Because you can't be efficient in everything. Some stuff is gonna be lacking. Yep. You can't go to every class and you can't stay up to date on every, you know, as far as the continuing education on all of these different areas. And so, you know, that with a jack of all trades, master at none, like that's real. That's real. And so things are going to be lacking. It's going to be your health, it's going to be your household, or it's going to be all of these other different side things that you kind of have going on. It's going to be lacking. So you got to figure out what is the thing that you love to do the best, the most, and that you are known for, and that brings in the money that you need to make to have the lifestyle that you want to live. Like, I went and spent thousands of dollars to learn permanent makeup, to start doing it and be like, I don't like needles.
Me neither. Me neither.
Like, I don't like needles, and I can't get past inflicting this type of pain and with this blood and working with needles. And it was okay. You spent all of this money to learn it, bought everything, everything that I needed, and I had to make decisions like, I hate this. And I did it for 2 years, and I just was like, and people was like, why you stop? And I just was like, it wasn't for me.
Right.
But you can't commit to something because you done spent all of this education and money on it. No, it was something that I learned. It was experience, but I'm not doing this for forever. Because it's good, because it was great money, but I hated it.
It's like when people have those jobs that they hate, they're doing it because it's, you know, it helps your lifestyle. It, you know, providing for you. And it's that you get caught into, I make this amount, but it's not like helping your soul. Like you really don't like to do it. So why am I doing this? Look at Kev. Kev's waiting to get in on the question. Go ahead, Kev.
No. Listen, no. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm like, why haven't I met Chinere a long time ago?
Because I am everybody's best kept secret.
That's right.
Because everybody kind of says that it's like, you've been around for forever and I've heard about you, but some of my clients, I've had to quit clients, and I had to learn this too. It's just like, I've had clients that are so selfish that it's like, oh, I don't tell people who I go to because I don't want them looking like me, or I don't want them getting the same style as me. And I'm just like, yo, you killing me.
Right. Referrals are everything.
Yeah, like, you killing me. You literally out here not sharing who you go to because you want to keep me to yourself. Like, nah, like you killing me. Like,
listen, people, don't keep me to yourself, okay? Please make sure that you tell people about me and what it is that I do. Tell them about Kevin. Tell them about Chinere, because we're here to help all the people. That's one thing that we do. I think sometimes in our culture is that, like, you know, you kind of want to hoard, and the best thing is to get around people who want to see you flourish, who like, yo, you got to see this person. Just like when you go to a restaurant and you love the restaurant and you want to tell everybody on social media, listen, I'm that good food restaurant. Get over there and talk about me too, right? So this is the perfect time for Kev to tell people about you. Go ahead,
Well,
Kevin.
so, but before we jump into that, because you know what? Let me tell people who I am. Kevin the Credit Crusher. You know me. Promethean Credit Counseling is the company, and we're trying to help people establish credit. If you have an issue with building your credit, if you've never established credit, we're looking for young people who may be coming out of college and are trying to establish a credit profile and don't quite know how to do it. Give us a call, 215-904-8690. You can reach us on the web at promethean.com. That's Premisien, Promethean.com. I'm Kevin the Credit Crusher, Promethean Credit Counseling. Let's turn to a tip. Chinere, Wright, give us a tip that somebody can use for their hair or Reiki service or spiritual upliftment, or both.
All right, that was like 3 things.
No, tip, hair or Reiki or both.
All right. Well, I think for all of them, the biggest tip is you need to drink water, a lot of water. Water is your friend. Water for so many reasons. Water for flushing, detoxing, clearing out toxins. Water is spiritual. When you incorporate water into just your everyday, it helps with breathing. It helps with flushing. It helps with your scalp. It helps with your skin. Like I can literally, with my clients, I can see who is drinking water and who is not when I go to look at their scalp. Like your scalp is telling me everything. When I look at your eyes, I can see the darkness underneath your eyes, the darkness in your eyes, the sometimes yellowing in your pupils and things like that. I can literally tell that you are dehydrated. And when that is happening, your body is shutting down. So that's with the Reiki, that's affecting the Reiki because your internal systems is not functioning well because it's not at a high level capacity because you're dehydrated. Your body wants to go lay down. Your brain is not getting the oxygen because everything is pretty much is shutting down inside, and we hate water.
Not me.
And hey, people, by the way, adding Kool-Aid to your water is not drinking water.
Well,
people still drink Kool-Aid.
What kind of water should you be drinking? Does that matter?
Listen, at this point, I don't like. I like pH, water, alkaline water, and things like that. But we'll spend money on Gucci belts, but don't want to spend $5 on a bottle of alkaline water. I'm fine with that. Get you some Deer Park, get you some spring water. I don't care if you drink Old Day Tap It. Just some water. Like we don't like swimming. We don't like water. We don't like swimming. We don't want to we don't.
I will say as a Black woman, right? When it comes to swimming, I can swim, but swimming sometimes it gets to be, it's like kryptonite for us. It's like, oh man, if I go in and depending on how you wear your hair,
water, all things water. I have straight adults be like, oh, I don't drink water. Water is nasty. Like, but your body is crazy. It like, I don't care if you gotta put lemon in it, put lime in it, do whatever you need to do. But because I can see it. I can see it. So when you come, because I do a lot with hair loss. So when you come and you're like, what can you do for me? And I'm telling you everything based is on your food intake and your nutrition. You're like, no, but what lotion or what product to put on this patch right here, this hairline right here? And I'm like, nothing. I can't do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? So my tip is increase water intake, eat more fruit, and get rid of the toxic situations. Get rid of it.
Good tip.
I am a strong, firm believer of it is either if you don't want to do something, do not do it. If it is toxic, get rid of it because all of it plays a part in your hair, in your skin, and your mental and your physical.
Mm-hmm.
Your mental function affects your physical function. So if you wholeheartedly you want to do something, it's either a hell yes or hell no. It ain't no hell maybe. Don't nobody. Don't, it's one.
Hey, that's a retweet. It's no hell yes. It's either hell yes or hell no, but ain't no hell maybe. That's a retweet. You're right.
Kev, you're on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. We're on Twitter right. We're streaming on Twitter right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm not on Twitter.
I don't use it. No, I don't use it. I don't use it.
You made me feel good about the water because my daughter, she's 2 and she doesn't drink anything but water and her Ripple milk. So it's like a plant-based milk that she drinks, but she doesn't want to drink juice or anything like that. And
Right.
I'm a big component of it's water all around me right now as we're talking. I'm not gonna put them all on the camera, but yeah, we vibe with the water over
Right.
yonder.
I mean, because if you have plants all around you, plants is soap, is water, is oxygen, is purifying. Water is purifying. So if you just incorporate that one thing, that's my tip.
It's a good tip.
Good tip.
All right, Kev, what you got? I gotcha.
So we talked about. You can't never catch me. I'm always ready. And if I stay ready, I don't got to get ready.
There you go. And that's love.
Staying with the theme of helping people establish business credit if you're young. And like I said, you're trying to establish business credit. I'm sorry, not business credit, personal credit. There are 3 ways that you can do it. The first way that you can do it is get a cosigner, somebody who has good credit. Make sure they have good credit and they can cosign a card or a loan for you. If you can't get a cosigner, and be very judicious about how you choose that cosigner. But if you can't get a cosigner, get a secured credit card. A secured credit card allows you to put an amount on the card, and then that is the limit. So if you put $500 down, then you can use that $500 as a limit, and it reports as a credit card, not as a debit card. And you can use, and you don't have to use either or, you can use all of them, or choose 1 or 2. The third way is to get a secured loan, which is much like a secured credit card, except it's a loan from the bank. So it comes on your credit report as an installment account. You go to a bank, ask them for a secured loan. Again, put down $500, and they will report it as a loan. And that as you pay it off, that loan gets paid off and looks good on your credit report. So cosigner, secured credit card, and/or a secured loan. That's my tip for today.
Okay, so we're gonna go back there real fast. Judicious. You know, Kev, you are a wordsmith. You're always dropping these words. I'm always learning more from you. So that's a great word there. So I gotta always point them out. You hit me with something. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good word. As I go, look, thinking about the context in which you used it, and then going to Google judicious. Let's look that up for later.
Right.
How can I incorporate that into what I'm saying? So
you
as
put that on your 2 lookup list.
I'll handle good words. So I don't have any good words. Chinere was over there using some words too. I was like, this is like, I see why y'all connect, y'all. Say we gotta get our weight up. We gotta get it together. All right. So a tip. I'm gonna stay with the young folks too. Oftentimes we don't think about our finances until we get older, after like making a lot of poor choices, and you're kind of playing a cleanup game. So for young people now, you can actually start investing now, and you should start investing, because when you look at investing, it's all about like the time horizon. So the earlier you start, the more money you will accumulate, and the earlier you can retire. So even if you are, somebody or you have a young child right now, well, not young child, but if you have a child that's like I do, yeah, she's not, we invest for her. But if you are young and you can put aside $100 a month, okay, you can put $100 aside a month into like a Roth IRA, not with your bank, hit me up, I can help you. But outside of that, you can Vanguard all these different companies where you're actually going to get a rate of return. But when you start with a Roth IRA, you guys can retire earlier. You don't have to work until you're 67, which is the average retirement age right now. You can make sure that you're putting that money aside. It's going to grow for you, and that's what's going to set you free. So don't be scared. Get in the game, get your plan together, and become an investor early. Don't wait till you're late. early. That's my tip.
Good tip.
Look, she
Good
said, get
tip.
it together.
So Chinere, what we do here is we like for our guests, and we're going to do it as well. We like for our guests to give a story about a client. Don't say names.
Okay.
Don't give out names, but a story about a client that will illustrate why they should use your services, and particularly the new services that you are providing. So give us a story about somebody who needed it, didn't have it, or somebody who did it and it worked very well for them.
Let's see. All right. So I had a first-time client come in. She was referred to me by an existing client, and she was going to be starting. Well, first she booked for a haircut. She booked for a haircut and a color change, and she booked for a. I offer a mini chakra reading, so she booked for those sessions. I later learned after she booked the appointment that she was going to be starting chemo. That she was diagnosed with cancer. She was going to be starting chemo, and she wanted to go ahead and cut her hair off herself before it would fall out, eventually on its own. She wanted to kind of have that control and cut it off. So she's like, now mind you, she had curly hair that came past her shoulders. She knew that she was going to be losing all of the hair. So we did a cut it all down to a really short, low pixie cut, and then we took her from black hair to platinum blonde. So she left with like this bomb short little pixie cut blonde. The blonde looked amazing on her, and she was like, she would have never thought that, she would look this good with short hair and with the blonde or whatever. She was like, she looked amazing. But we did a chakra reading during her service, and I also pull tarot cards for her also. So that is another form of divination, tarot cards. So I actually pulled cards, and we did using crystals. We did a chakra reading, and all of those for me when I do it is like confirmation, because once we did the chakra reading, like the chakra that she pulled had to do with her, she pulled the chakra for the heart and something else, and I didn't know what type of cancer that she had, but the chakra that was imbalanced was directly associated with the heart, which she was having problems with, her type of cancer, and the psychological things that usually affect that chakra. She was like, all of that has happened leading up to her diagnosis, things like that. So she was kind of like, she had never done it before, so she was really mind blown at how the physical and the internal like really connect. And if she had really, a lot of people, if she would have known or had kind of gotten a lot of those symptoms under control many years ago, it may not have led to that severity of it, but it connects you with like once you get that chakra reading, it kind of lets you know, like, these are the essential oils to help with that chakra. These are the crystals that you can carry to help that chakra. And she's like, I've always been drawn to these scents. Always been drawn to these type of candles or to these fragrances. And that's not a coincidence. You're drawn to those scents and those fragrances because that is your body telling you that you need this. It's like your body like trying to send you a signal, like, this is what my body needs. This is why you always love, I'll say, vanilla. like you're always drawn to vanilla, you're always drawn to citrus, it's not by coincidence. That's your body giving you signals that I need this internally. It's not that you just like it. And so for her to have picked or had been connected to certain crystals and certain stones, which let me know what chakras that she needed to balance, she was like, everything lined up with the essential oils, the crystals that she needed. So she was like, okay, I'm definitely going to start kind of incorporating more of a spiritual healing side of it, along with the treatment that she was going to have to undergo for it. But when we pull her tarot cards, like, it matched the chakra alignment that we did right beforehand. And it's just like everything is synchronized, everything is synced together. And it's just like for people who don't really believe or like know about it or subscribe to it, they're really like, how is this even possible? But everything, like, our bodies were meant to heal itself from natural herbs, plants, and things like that. Crystals are from the earth, and they all have vibrations and radiations and things like that. So everything naturally was made and for us to use to heal ourselves, but we didn't learn it, and we don't know about it. So you can connect with that along with your modern Western medicines and things like that. It will take it to a higher level. And so literally she was in tears from her outcome of her look. And then she was like, I don't, like, I feel so much better, like, just from having the readings. And then like being able to leave with like a to-do list, or like leave with a little bit of homework,
like a plan.
right? Because in the reading and in that, like, now I give you journal prompts from the things that that are kind of going on with you with your chakras. So now it's like, these are some journal prompts, these are some affirmations, different things that you can do on your own throughout to kind of get you started with your hand, uh, things like that, because they don't care about the mental, the internal. It's about, okay, how do we shrink this tumor? How do we get rid of this? But it affects so many other things when you're undergoing and going through cancer treatment. It affects everything else. So that, I think, is like one of the more rewarding experiences, being able to include the spiritual component into doing it for me.
It's good.
It's good. That's good.
Real good.
So I'm gonna give a quick story, and then we're gonna jump to the fast forward because I want to be cognizant. I'm cognizant of the time. So staying with the whole establishing credit theme, I had a client come to me about 5 months ago, 449 credit score. He never had any kind of credit whatsoever, except for he had one thing that went into a medical bill that went into collections. We got that cleaned up, but we helped him get an installment, a secured loan, and a secured credit card. 5 months later, he's at a 749 and still climbing. It's a beautiful thing. So come see us. Nice, you got something?
Oh, I get to tell a story?
Sure.
Oh, because you said I got a story. Then you said we're going to the fast forward. I said, oh, we don't have no time. Yeah. All right, let me stop playing. Listen, you get the time going. So quick story for me is have a client who, this is a referral story. This is why referrals are so important. So he came to me by way of referral. I sat down with him. We went over his plan and all the things that he had going on. One of the things, he didn't have enough life insurance, so we helped him with that. Changed his plan, got him covered and gave him more coverage, as well as his two children, his biological son and his stepdaughter. And I met with him almost 2 years ago. And he called me recently because his stepdaughter passed away. and she's 24. And I mentioned that to say is because we got to look at our financial plans. We got to look at what we have, and we got to make sure that we insure our children as well, because it's really important. You never want to think about burying a child, but you don't want to think about where the money is going to come from and having to borrow it or GoFundMe's or anything like that. And because he came to me from referral, I was able to help him, with his total plan, not just with life insurance, but other things too. So referrals are really important because you never know who you're going to help by just opening your mouth and saying something to somebody that could change somebody's life.
Good. It's good. It's good stuff. All right, Chinere, we're going to jump into what we call our fast four.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 4 questions. I want you to answer them as quickly but as succinctly as possible.
Okay.
Ready?
All right.
Book that had a great impact on your professional or personal life.
Queen of Fu was one of Queen books. You put
the
me
goddess
name up. But the Heal Thyself, the Queen of Fu is Heal Thyself book.
Heal Thyself.
Yeah.
Good book. Queen of Fu. Heal Thyself. Got you. All right. A tool or resource that you've used that has helped you tremendously in your professional life. Hot comb.
Now, you know what? My Square scheduler, that has tremendously. Yeah.
Square scheduler.
The scheduling app from Square.
From Square. Good one. Good one. All right. Give us a challenge that you had to overcome.
And what facet? That's too broad.
In your hair journey.
And
I think you gave us one earlier, but you can run it back.
Man, I guess being a single parent in the hair journey is hard when you have a young child and if you are doing that whole hustle game as far as the late hours, those 9 to 11 o'clock at nights is hard when you got a kid. So that was a challenge. That's
a good answer.
That's good. That's good.
And after school care and pickups and all of that kind of stuff. That was a challenge.
That I know the challenge. One thing that you wish you'd learned earlier in life that would have helped you later
on. That's easy. Either trading money for time or time for money.
Good. That's a good lesson. Good lesson. Time for money or money for time. Understanding when to do either.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Solid. In honor of Black History Month, we're going to add a 5th question.
Okay.
Black person, male or female, who has had a great impact on your life.
I would say, I'm gonna say, because everybody kind of always goes with Madam C.J. Walker, but I'm gonna go with I don't know her name, but the one that was supposed to be her nemesis.
Turnbull, Marie Turnbull, I think Turnbull or something like that.
Yeah, like she was actually the first. Mm-hmm. And a lot of time, and I go with her because a lot of times the first doesn't get the credit. It's the person who does it after and masters it or perfects it. But I would say her because I feel like she is me and me is her.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Mm-hmm. It has been an absolute pleasure. Nice. I think I can speak for you, right? No, yes. You can speak for you. I don't need to speak for you.
I was about to say that because you just want to take my voice off it. Listen, so I'm going to come see you because everything that you were saying today, I was like, man, this is where it is. Sometimes you feel like you're out of balance and don't really know why you're doing all of these other things to try to get in balance. And you brought a lot of light to some things that spirituality in a different way, a perspective that we don't often think about. Most times we think about spirituality, you only think about like God. But it's like, what did God give you on this earth to use to keep you in harmony, to bring you in harmony? And I feel like that's what you represent. So I thoroughly enjoyed you being on here. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be calling you, coming to see you. So thank you.
So Chinere, how can they find you? And I want you to give the address to the studio, the new studio opening in March.
Right. So the new studio is opening in March, and it is in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia, 6212 Ridge Avenue. And it is a storefront, is a metaphysical store, and then it is a full salon. We will have holistic and spiritual events calendar. We have yoga practitioners, and we have Reiki healing, crystal therapy, sound bowl therapy, a meditation room. So basically everything that you would need or would want to pretty much, if you are looking for your spiritual tribe, this is pretty much the place to be able to come and connect with people that are, like-minded like yourself, that is looking for a higher consciousness, a higher level of self-care.
And what's the name of the studio? They're looking.
Flow Reiki Hair Studio.
And if they want to get in touch with you prior to coming to the studio, how do they do that?
We have a website. It is Cosmic Flow Life. .com is the website, and it is also the Instagram and Facebook page, Cosmic Flow Life.
CosmicFlowLife.com, Cosmic Flow Instagram, Cosmic Flow Facebook.
Cosmic Flow Life for all of them.
Cosmic Flow Life. Cosmic Flow Life. Spelled CosmicFlowLife.
Yes. That's for all of the social media pages. It's all about high vibrational, high vibrational living. We are looking for stylists. So if you know anyone that is looking for a better safe space working environment, because that was important too, having a positive work environment for myself and for other people.
Well, Chinere, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We certainly want to have you on again. We definitely want everybody to come out. If you're looking for a spiritually infused service, hair service, or physical service, please see our Cosmic Flow Hair. I'm sorry, what is it? Cosmic, say it again.
Website, Cosmic Flow Life is the website. The studio is Cosmic Flow Reiki Hair Studio.
6212 Ridge Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19128.
Yes.
Need people to come see. We truly appreciate you. Have a great day. And before we let everybody go, we want to let you guys know, again, we are the Biz Breaks Podcast here every Thursday, 1 p.m. on the Cosmos Radio Network USA. You can see us on our platforms. You can see me on my Facebook page, Kevin Lewis. You can see us on our Promethean Promethean Facebook page, PREMISIEN. You can catch us on YouTube, and that's where we want you guys to come. When you guys are looking for our pages, please, if you're going to stream it, we stream it also on Ikea's personal page. When you come to the page, like, share, subscribe, follow. When you go to the YouTube page, that's where we want you guys to come from now on. When you watch it on the YouTube page, we're streaming live on all those platforms. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell so we can notify you when we are having a new episode. We're here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also broadcasting on the Cosmos Radio Network platforms, the YouTube page, their Facebook page as well. Thank you to our partners here in the United States. That's Showtime, the Hype Man. Thank you for Sean, DJ Sean out in London. We're broadcasting in Brazil as well. So please come catch us on our YouTube page. And like, follow, subscribe, and share the Biz Breaks Podcast here on the Cosmos Radio Network USA.